Hi guys. I am in an indescribable pit of sadness right now. So I figured I'm really tired of talking about my exes online, really tired of my dog just sighed. Really tired of talking about the shitty situationships that I kind of put myself into because I can't speak up about what I want, and when I do, people really don't want that with me. So I was like, how can I get myself out of my head, fix this? And it came to me last night as I was in hour 2 or 3 of my Grays marathon, as I do every day. I should make a video about something I love that makes me happy, and the thing that makes me genuinely the most happy, aside from like my animals and my friends and just having like basic necessities in life, is Grey's Anatomy right now. Okay?
I'm sorry. It's not really funny.
That's what it is. And this is a debate I have quite often with people. Quite often, okay? It shouldn't be as often as it is, but it is pretty often, about how Meredith is my favorite character. I am Meredith Grey, okay? And I mean that in the most serious and genuine way. I'm obviously Carrie Bradshaw, I'm Trisha Paytas coded, I'm all these things, but in reality, there is no one else in that show that comes close to meaning as much to me as Meredith does, because she fucking gets it. She fucking gets it. She gets it. She would get it. She always does. I kind of want to do like an outro to this video. Like, I want to do a little montage where I do like little clips of me and then like the Grey's outro in the Meredith voice.
And when you least expect it, the world writes itself again.
We're doctors. We don't get to choose the path we go on. But somehow, just somehow, you might end up there. Like shit like that. Like, I love that. Like, that's so real. That's so me in my head at the end of the night. You know what I mean? But anyways, I'm dedicatedly rewatching Grey's right now. Okay? And the reason I've put this off for so long, the reason I've been silent for so long in my life, was when like I was watching Grey's back in the day, okay? Because my grandparents only had 6 channels and one of them was ABC, okay? I ate that shit up. I was eating it up. Loved it. No one else liked it, and so they didn't enjoy watching it, but I wanted to watch it, okay? Because there was part of me that knew. I didn't know then, but now I know. And little me knew that I knew now how much that show was going to mean to me. I feel like to really like dig into it, we have to like address the things everybody always comments on every time I talk about the show. Number one, it's corny. Number one, yes. They're like, look right here.
And then there's me.
Like, no doctor is ever gonna do that. They're actively doing brain surgery, and they're like, Shepard, and he's like, oh, my wife, and then flatline. Like, that would never happen.
Just a surgeon with an excess of estrogen. Deal with it. Andrew, can you spell estrogen?
In an OR. The shenanigans, just like the clownery of it all. But honestly, I kind of love that. I kind of live for that. I'm a soap opera person. Okay? Young and the Restless? Okay. Days of Our Lives? Okay. The only one I keep up with is Grey's, and season 20 just dropped, which I just mentioned in my last video where we tried Quick Star food or whatever. But I'm trying to work my way back up. I started rewatching this last year around like October, I think, and it's just kind of spiraled from there. Newer seasons are not my favorite. Honestly, after George, the show was kind of over for me the first time. And so I feel like I'm going into it with like a more positive mindset this time. I'm more open. Like, I'm like, wow, I actually really like Cali in Arizona. Obviously, I love Sloan. Okay, McSteamy.
Sloan.
You're doing great.
This man is a whore. Has always been a whore. Will probably always be.
Oh my God. He's so fine. He's so fine. He's the finest man on that show. So, but anyways, yeah. So number one, it's corny. The musical episode did not need to be done. It did not need to be. They're literally doing open heart surgery. They're like, how to save a life. What? That was crazy. But you know what I mean? It's that, okay? But to me, I feel like once you really like the show, it honestly adds on to it. And I think people forget this is soap opera vibes, baby. It's giving me soap opera realness. I want it to, because in the same beat where I am crying, shitting, throwing up over something that's happening, I do want the turnaround of a full minute and 30 seconds later to be too stunned to speak. Ridiculousness that occurs, okay? That's a good show, okay? That's a good show. It's keeping you interested. It's giving Breaking Bad. It's giving Game of Thrones. Like, it's giving legendary, inventive, creative, smart. Okay. So yeah. Also, the plotline is kind of all over the place. The alternate reality episode, hiring a bunch of new actors to play like the people when they combine the hospitals, and then just killing them all off. Kind of crazy, like that, you know what I mean? Cali, obviously, spoilers. You're fucking stupid. You think there's not gonna be? We're getting into it. Cali having Mark's baby in Arizona, coming back and being like, I'll raise this love child with you. What? Okay. Anyways, like, it just like my whole answer when people watch it with me and it's out of context, I'm like, it's just Grace. It's just Grace. Like, that's just how it is. Another hot take. In my opinion, Dr. Bailey is the glue that holds that show together.
You can tell me whose damn panties are on the bulletin board.
She is the glue. Every plot line would suffer if she wasn't there. I'm just putting that out there. The characters in general, I think, honestly, are phenomenal. They have depth. They have personality. They have relatability. They have extreme unrelatability, which makes them interesting. And they're good actors and actresses. Like Sandra Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
You can stop. Somebody detain me.
Are you kidding me? It's everything. The show is everything. I can't. Stop. I can't.
I don't know. I just don't think this is like right for me. I don't want to do it.
I think, okay, so when I was initially rewatching this time, one of the biggest things that stuck out to me about Meredith, because I feel like when I was watching it and I was younger, there used to be like a little bit of a disconnect because you just don't really understand those things until you get older and you realize things. But like rewatching it now, first thing right off the bat, wow, is she so me-coded. I've never seen anybody who wants a relationship more but is more terrified of being in one. Until I looked in the mirror. Like, what? The self-reflection this character causes in me, okay? Starting from season 1, like starting from the jump. Also, the mommy issues are mommy issuing. Everyone who A, had a single mom, and B, they had mental health issues, and they worked a lot, you understand. You understand. I feel like that dynamic of her and her mom, even though her mom's like this famous surgeon, obviously my mother is not a famous surgeon. I don't really know what she's up to. But it's like that dynamic of like the pressure being on you, number one, to either succeed or just fail. You have to be the best or the worst. And neither is really good enough. And then also like the wanting to be as disconnected from her as possible, but then like the reality of like health and mental health issues arise, and like you have to step up to the plate, like, because there's no one else there. Especially when you have a single mom, it's like you think about, okay, well, when she gets older, there's not going to be a man around. I'm sorry, there's not going to be a man around to like sit there and hold her hand. Dynamic of like always being second to work, always being second to a man, always being second to something because you were the byproduct of something that they didn't want. And that being on your mind constantly as you grow up, like, I shouldn't even be here. Like, I wasn't wanted here. I'm not wanted here now. You know what I mean? Because when you're told that in words and actions, both is crazy. Just lie. You're a parent. I would rather be lied to. But yeah, and her dad, Thatcher Gray can catch my hands. There is nothing that man could do to make me like him. Nothing. You're a bum. And your wife died of hiccups. You're a bum. But anyways, obviously that dynamic is relatable. Yeah, because I feel like it's a really common theme, again, to have that father that like gets not a second, a third and fourth fucking chance, and it seems to be having like the best fucking life. Like, it's crazy to me that people that, I'm not talking about like my high school bullies, I'm not talking about my exes, I'm talking about people that had control over me and like my life in the most formative years of my brain, and that caused like legitimate trauma, all these things. Like, it's just like, I'm sorry, but it's crazy to me, like, they thrive after, and for a long time, like, I couldn't get past that. I couldn't understand why these people get good things. But to tie it into the show, to be real with you, it's kind of like, because that's life. Because that person is not encapsulated forever in who they were at that time. And once I realized that, okay, I had my season 7 moment where he comes in with the 20-year-old girlfriend, but we find out, oh, she's sober and nice and da-da-da. I realized they were actual people, just like I was. And I may have not made the same mistakes, if you want to call it that. I may not have caused the same hurt, but I am not a perfect person. And when I say that with my chest. I am not a perfect person. I'm still not. I wasn't in the past. I won't be in the future. We are all people. And so honestly, like, looking at that kind of dynamic, like, yes, there's a lot of resentment and hurt. Like, I'm never going to be cool with people like that. It's never going to come full circle, and we're never going to have a kumbaya. You know what I mean? But I don't feel the need to seek their validation, for one, which is huge, and for two, to work with them, to try and fuck their life up, to try and send them hate, like, to try and do any of that. I'm not sitting here on my bedside praying that you get everything you want in life, but I don't hate those people. And I do see those people as humans that are capable of change. I'm never gonna know if that's what happened or is gonna happen for them. I'm never gonna know that. That doesn't mean I can pass judgment on something I don't know, if that makes sense, in a really roundabout way. Like, I'm really like, I just recently like a couple weeks ago, rewatched that episode I was talking about. I think it's season 7, when Lexi and Meredith are like, oh my God, our dad is in the hospital. And Lexi's really mad at him because he has this super young girlfriend after Lexi's mom passes away, right, from the hiccups, like forever ago. That was like season 3 or 4 because George was there for that one. But no, so he's in the hospital. It's something to do with his heart or his liver, because Meredith gave him either a liver or kidney, one of the two. She gave him one of hers, whatever, whichever one you have 2 of. I don't know if you have 2 kidneys. I don't know, okay? I'm not a doctor. But they thought it was because he was drinking again, but really he's been sober, and like this girl has like 5 years sober and she's super cool and da-da-da, and they passed judgment really quickly, right? And Lexi was the one that was all heated. And Meredith was like, for the first time ever, being like, Lexi, just let him do it. Lexi, just let him. Like, just let him. And Lexi couldn't understand why Meredith was being so chill about it, because she's always been like, I don't want anything to do with my father. Even when she gave him part of her kidney or liver or whatever, she's like, this isn't for, you know, like, this isn't what you think it is. Like, I don't want a relationship with you just because I'm doing this. You know what I mean? And I haven't had an experience like that, but I think just like getting older and seeing so many examples of the other side of people, to see that amount of true change, that amount of growth is possible. You would not believe where some of the situations that these people come from, like, let alone people that aren't making bad decisions, people that are just put in bad situations for no fault of their own, and the way they grow from that. Like, I'm talking like growing from the fucking concrete like a beautiful ass flower. It's crazy. And it just shows you that sometimes, no matter what, people can turn it around. I don't know. And here's the 180 though. This is not related to Grace. This is just a personal tangent I'm going to go on for a second. There are some people and some things that people do, I do not believe they're ever capable of change. It's proven. Like, once people offend in certain areas, the chances of them re-offending immediately go up. There is no chance they're going to stay where they're at or go down. It's just, there are some things I think that are unforgivable. No, people are not capable of change, but I'm saying in the context of a lot of the things that have happened to me, I do think that, you know, if they wanted to, they could. And that gives me hope for the rest of the world, you know? But yeah, so that's something I relate to her really closely on, right? Is like that family dynamic. Like, it's nothing to do with forgiveness for me. And I don't feel like it's anything to do with forgiveness for her either. I think you can still acknowledge things like that and not forgive someone. Because my contradiction to the statement that forgiveness is for you is that, well, if it's for me, why do I have to offer it? If it's for me, if the forgiveness is for me to heal, sometimes the way for me to do that is to give that forgiveness to myself and be done with the situation. So, yeah, that was like a literally 18-minute tangent. This turns into my trauma dump. Okay, so I also feel like Meredith has taught me how to be a better friend. I mean that with my chest. I feel like she's taught me to be a better friend. If we start back at like season 1, the relationship dynamics that Meredith had are just very like coworker-y, like acquaintancy. Like, this is not, it's not giving friendship, you know what I mean? Like, even with Christina, like, there's chemistry right off the bat, but it's not, you know, serious friendship, right? And I feel like it takes a long while for her to reciprocate back to these people. Like, it is an example of like how hard it can be to trust when you've been hurt that badly. Like, you've been hurt that badly. I think characters like George and Izzy, Alex later on, obviously Christina, like, they are prime examples of being a true friend is number one, and number two, like, patience. My friends are such patient people with me, not only in the fact that they put up with my bullshit.
I look fantastic. I shaved my legs.
And I do have a lot of bullshit to put up with, but in the sense that when I'm not ready to reciprocate, when I'm not ready to, like, be around people, when I like, that is respected. But also when they know I need to be pushed in an area, they're gonna push me. If I am completely ready to, like, go out and I'm sitting there on the couch and just sad and overthinking and spiraling before we've even left for the night, they are gonna make my ass get up and go, because they know as soon as we're down the street, I'm having fun. It's just like, I think later on, like, we can always count on Christina and Meredith being friends. We can always count on Meredith and Alex, like, sticking together, or her sticking up for him, you know what I mean? But, like, I love that we're able to see the build of the relationship, and truly I do think they're, like, very intimate friendships and relationships, not only because everyone fucks each other in the show, but because I didn't realize there's not a whole lot of people in the world you can be that real with. There's not a whole lot of people like that in the world, that you can honestly be yourself so much around. I value my friends so much more now, I think, than you know, I did when I was maybe like a teenager and, you know, early adulthood, which I guess I'm still in early, I don't know, whatever. But and it's not just because we've been through tough things. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like, yes, we've been through tough things together, but more than that, like, we're our own individual people, and I'm so proud of them for the things they accomplished on their own. You know, like, I'm celebrating with them, not just for them. I truly would, and obviously it's been proven because she helped cut that LVAD wire for Danny.
It did indeed.
Oh my god. That Meredith will do anything for her friends. I would do anything for my friends. I just, relationships come and go. Friends are forever. Has been a huge theme in my life, obviously, for the past while. But I don't think that, you know, many people know me enough to know how to just always say the right thing. I don't know how they know to do that, but they do, and it's the most wholesome, sweet thing ever. Like, the other day I was, like, crying to Megan about, I had one person text me at, like, 11:30 at night being like, do you want to have a conversation? I was just like, literally about what? That happened. And then someone else posted an apology to me. What?
So sorry.
Posted it, didn't text me, removed me after I saw it. So I was like, okay. And then minutes later, this person will not leave me alone. The only communication we've had is me blocking and being like, leave me alone, for months. For a long time, I've been like, leave me alone. Sent their little friends to call me. Don't do that. Don't do that. On some, well, what did they do? They're a really good person. I don't care. It's weird. You won't leave me alone. It's really genuinely weird. You won't leave me alone. And so I'm like crying to Megan. I'm like everybody is like getting back with their exes and happy, or like meeting the best person ever, or like having babies and getting engaged. I'm so serious. I mean that with my chest. Like, everybody but me, right? Like, it hurts. And so I'm like calling her and I'm crying because I'm like, all this shit happened within a span of like 15 minutes of each other, and my feelings are really hurt, and I just feel like I'm never gonna find anyone. They're never gonna find me. Like, they're never gonna approach me. Like, sometimes I get really down on it because I'm like, listen, everybody and their fucking mom, everyone has someone right now but me. I'm like, I don't even have a crush. I don't even have someone look at me sideways, you know? And that's whatever. It's whatever. I know. So I'm crying. I can't tell a story to save my life. I'm sitting there crying on the phone to her on FaceTime, real raw. And she's like, well, Faith, I truly believe this is just the story you tell before you meet the one. This is the story at the wedding of how you thought you'd given up and you're never gonna find anyone, and then boom. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I love that. And I have to actively fight against thinking that that's delusional. I'm choosing to fight my demons with 2016 rap. So it's giving Juice WRLD, it's giving G Herbo, it's also giving Lil Peep. Really, I don't know what's going on with me. That's what I've been doing. I've been on my, yeah. I don't think I need to say more. I'm listening to G Herbo on a regular basis. I'm hurting. I'm hurting. So my friends get it. They get it. And I truly believe there's nothing I've like done that like bothers them. My past is not like it's not what they focus on. Like, they see me for me. I feel like they see the things they know about my past as puzzle pieces that make me up. You know, like, it kind of adds context. It makes things make more sense. And I like that. I like to think of it like that. Yeah. My friends are very important to me. And they're not allowed to walk in front of buses or get on airplanes ever. So, at some of the lowest points in my life, Grey's Anatomy, she's been there. She's been there. She's been there for me. And I think it's for me, it's like a comfort show on the level of like, these are my friends. Like, I know these characters like the back of my hand. It's like The Office. It's literally like The Office is for me. I love The Office. I've watched it for so long that it's like, I feel like I could give you verbatim every episode word for word. Like, if you're needing to know an episode, like, I'm usually like, oh, season 4, episode 2. You know what I mean? Like, I've been doing a lot of self-reflection lately because I'm trying to do more than just like brain rot, watch Grey's Anatomy and scroll on TikTok. Like, I am reading. I'm reading a lot. I'm spending more time outside and walking, and I don't know. I'm trying to distract myself with healthy things, I guess, because I do need a little bit of distraction right now. I'm reminding myself to play the tape all the way through. If you know, you know. For a lot of different reasons. Like, I mean, I get on here and I'm like, I want a baby. I'm gonna be married. Like, crying and throwing up and whatever. And I literally, I was just sitting here thinking about it, and I was like, if I had a kid right now, I could not come home and take a nap after my first half of the day at work, and I could certainly not come home, eat a large fry and a small Diet Coke, watch Grey's Anatomy for 3 to 4 hours, sit in the bathtub, and then go to bed. Like, that would not be the sketch. And honestly, I think one of my biggest fears is not having somebody to raise that child with me. And I really, really, really don't think I can trust that I know somebody is going to be that person until my brain is more developed. I got to be at least 25 to know, like, and that doesn't mean, like, my soulmate can't come in and sweep me off my feet. Like, you're welcome anytime. But I think realistically, like, obviously it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen for a while. I don't mean that in, like, a passive-aggressive way. Like, it's never going to happen for me. It's just not going to happen right now. I think just literally everyone around me is getting pregnant, having babies, getting married, finding the love of their life, getting back with some ex we all forgot about with a hard fucking launch. Like, it's the best. You're living out all our dreams, okay? First of all, the ones that pull the ex situations, they just, all of a sudden it's a post with them and some man they met on Tinder like 4 years ago. And you're like, wait a minute. I think I've seen this place before. Mamas, what are you doing? What are you doing? We all wish that was us. That's why we're not liking your post. But leave us alone. Don't do a hard launch. The next time I'm with a man, you'll be lucky if you see his pinky finger. You will not, he will not have social media. He's gonna have the parental controls on his phone on for me and his mother. Really? No, I say this with all sincerity because it's the ones that text you and they're like, can we have a conversation? I think I want a relationship with you now. I've really missed you. All these different things, right? It's those ones, the second you look them up, the second, I dare you, pause this video. Pause. Go look them up. Look at the most recent post on any social media. Any. And tell me there's not multiple bitches in there. Multiple. I'm not talking cousins and sisters. I'm talking and probably is. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. And I don't think everyone is like this. I truly don't. Truly, truly don't. I think a lot of you are. The male loneliness epidemic is crazy. Please keep yourself safe. These young men. And let me tell you, it's not just the young ones. You guys are fully grown. You're fully grown. Your brain is developed as it's gonna get. Just kind of crazy. You act like that. And this is how you behave. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is turning into a rant, and I kind of love this. I'm gonna call it my hottest takes on Grays and a psychotic rant. I think that's good. Oh, that's good. So no lie, I thought this one would be really fucking funny. I thought this one would be really funny. Meredith and her relationships, right? Like her little hookups, her dating things. But I'm gonna give you my take on it because I feel like we've all dated a McDreamy, okay? We've all had a George. Hey, we've all had an Alex. I guilty as charged. I'm gonna take you through the finest men on Grays and tell you how my experience with men that were coded like that went. Starting off with I think my number one, it's basic. I'm gonna sound like a 35-year-old white woman who has a Stanley that she's sipping on, but McSteamy. Now, I love a McSteamy in real life. I do. It's a sweet older guy. If they're ready to settle down though, oh my god, you're like, oh, you built me a wardrobe, like what? It's our second date. If they're not though, it goes kind of crazy. Because with a McSteamy, I feel like it's like, yes, you love his character, you don't want to be dating that, you don't want to be dealing with that, because when it's good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's really bad. Very clingy. But usually when you're not together, that's kind of a common men theme. They're like, I only want you when I don't have you. Why? What? I only want you when I don't have access to you. Why? What? That's scary. That's actually concerning. It's like stalker bait. Anyways, my number 2 is George. I love George. He's such a little cutie.
I'm not a baby. I'm your colleague. You don't have to manipulate me. If you want something, all you have to do is ask.
We want you to go over Burke's head to the chief.
Ask me something easier.
Georges are probably the favorite people I've ever dated or like done a situationship with. I always love a George. So sweet, so kind, very quick to cut the cord though. Once they're done, they are done. You're never gonna get a redo with George. It's so true. It's like when him and Meredith hooked up, and then he was so mad at her, kind of rightfully so, but then kind of not rightfully so, because after a period of time you're like, okay dude, like it's been enough, whatever. But yeah, it will always be different after you end up with a George. If you get a George, lock it down. I'm whispering that because I don't want everyone to hear it. Lock it down. Mad respect if you're dating the people I was with that were like George. I honestly, hands off to you. That's a keeper. That's a keeper. I think enough said. I love George. When they ended him on the show, I was devastated. Hysterics. Even this time rewatching it, hysterics, craziness. Next, I guess McDreamy. There's so much I could say about this man. Yeah, there's truly a lot I could say about him. When you love him, you love him. And when you hate him, you still love him too. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Yes, he's handsome. He's charming. He's also a liar. He's a liar. Let's not forget for multiple seasons this man was married actively, didn't want to sign the goddamn papers.
Married.
George Beer is
Getting back and forth with his beautiful, stunning, amazing, loving ex-wife Addison, also one of my favorite characters of all time on Grey's. She's amazing. But then all of a sudden, like, they just switch him to being the best husband ever, like, after the post-it marriage, which, yeah, they got me too. They always get you. They know how to get you. They know how to reel you in, right? Because you want to want it. You do want it. You want it to work. But oh my fucking God, are they insufferable when it comes to a difference in opinion? You can never be right with a McDreamy. You can never be right. You can't be smarter than them. They're giving... I was going to be a philosophy major, but I dropped out after 1.5 years. Okay? I don't, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't really need to know what Aristotle said right now. It's 9:30 p.m. I'm trying to go to bed. But they're, like, mansplaining to you and, like, making it a whole thing. You know what I mean? They always have, like, one special interest. It's their surgery. It's their neuro, right? It's like philosophy, Siege, League of Legends. I don't care. Any video game that you can play on a computer or a one that has a remote control. Books. Do not get an English made. English, creative writing, any writer's workshop program major. I need you to run. I need you to run, babe. It's not good. Musicians also fall into the McDreamy category. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Stay away from me. Peace and love. Stay the hell away from me. Okay. Next, the Chief. Oh my God, that man is so fine. Weber? Dr. Weber? I've never been blessed with a Weber in my life, but if a Dr. Weber would love to come bless me and never leave, I'd be down. This is your invite. I love, that's a man. That's a man. Not only did he own up to his, when he fully didn't have to. This man, my stomach is growling, I'm so hungry. This man took on 2 daughters that were not his own because he loved his wife and his side so much. Would literally step down from his job for Meredith when she switched out the drugs, when his wife had dementia, because she did that for his wife when he was sleeping with her mom, the affair. And so Meredith was like, oh my God, Adele has Alzheimer's like her mom did. So when she and McDreamy are doing the Alzheimer's trial, Meredith is like doop-de-doop-de-doo, walking into the pharmacy, being a baddie, switching out the drugs, because when you're doing an FDA trial, you get a placebo and a real one. And she saw that Adele, Chief Weber's wife, was going to get the placebo one, and she really wanted to help Adele because she loves Adele. Alex saw her, and he ratted her out because he thought it was the right thing to do, and it was just kind of an Alex move. And then Chief Weber was like, it was me. I'm stepping down to save her. I might bump him above McDreamy for that one. Yeah. Burke is fine. I mean, obviously he's fine. He's fine. I would fold. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? I'm no longer standing on business. I'm slipping and sliding. It's just me on a water slide, like on all, like just all in. Yeah, he's fine. But we all know the reason he had to get written off, because he got fired from set for making fun of George. And that's why he's so low on this list. But yeah, he's fine. Dating them though? Oh, I could never. These are usually like the, I work in a law office, but I'm literally just a secretary. I sell insurance. It's like people, like, they're usually middle-aged men. No shade. This is gonna sound really shady. No shade. Middle-aged man with a very normal job, very normal living situation. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just setting the picture. But they do like to think that they're better than the 20 and 19-year-olds that they're fucking, because they're more stable, because they're like 10 years older. And I don't think that's really fair. But that's Burke for you. That's Burke. And I don't with that. They would leave you at the altar and convince you it's your fault. They would. They would call you a homophobic slur on the set of, honestly, Addison. I've never in my life encountered a woman like that like I would, again, I'm folding immediately. I'm like, how do we, when's the wedding? Like, I'm free anytime. That's a powerful woman right there. And that, yeah, I would fold. I love Addison. And Addison is giving me, like, very mother of the friend group. You know what I mean? Like, she always has a snack in her purse. She always is gonna be able to, like, do your hair before you go out. She's always gonna have a Band-Aid if someone scrapes their knee. You know, she is always gonna have gas in her car, and she can always come pick you. You know what I mean? Like, she's scheduling. She's making phone calls. She's boss babe. She doesn't have bookings. She has businesses. You know what I mean? Like, she's that bitch. I love Allison Shepard. She's so good. And if I was married to Derek Shepard, I would too. Girl, I would too. And then he chooses to flaunt Meredith in your face. And then Meredith turns out to be nice and you like her and you're like, I wanna work on this, and then. But mad props to Addison Shepard. I would love to date Madison. Next, this is gonna be a controversial take. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a controversial take. I would honestly put Alex as my last thought. Hear me out. I'm not a huge fan of him as a romantic interest. These are usually the men that you go on a date. Let's not call it a date. Let's call it what it is. You go over to his home and you watch like a movie or a TV show. You're talking a lot, having such good conversation. You've been texting heavy for a few days, even maybe exchanging music, socials, all these things. You get in your car. You're like, yes, I feel so good. This is the first good date I've had in so long. You're barely in the door before you're disappointed. You're barely out of your car in your own parking lot before you're disappointed. And that's because these men, you know what I mean? They're not ready. They may never be ready. They have an acoustic guitar somewhere in their house. I don't know that it gets played. Okay? They love to drink Prime, I'm assuming. Like a warm, just like really like sweet Prime. The one that tastes like an icicle. Just right after a workout. They're giving Honda energy. I'm seeing a Honda. Like I'm sure they have a Honda. I'm sure they go to Planet Fitness. Like once every other month, just to be like, I'm at the gym. But I'm sure they have used that as an excuse to cheat on people. You know what I mean? That's an Alex for you. There's not really much else to say. I mean, for me, those experiences really just mean like, oh, okay, well. So there are going to be people I like that continuously don't want me. It's a cool reminder of that. But I don't prefer to have that if I can help it. And then my last lot, okay? Oh my God. The man of my dreams. Can't stop like watching the TikTok edits of him. Danny Duquette. The things I would do for that man. And he's in a hospital bed on an oxygen tank and an LVAD wire. Yeah, Izzy. I get it, girl. I would hallucinate him coming back as a ghost too. Yeah. Yeah. I'm speechless. Like, when I think about him, I get butterflies. Like, that's a man. He's the epitome of romantic. I wish someone would. Are you kidding me? I can't even get to just open a car door for me. Let alone hold my hand in public. Like, what? So, I would love a Danny Duquette. He's handsome. He's respectful. He's funny. I love a funny guy. Marry the funny guy. Marry the funny guy. Have the funny guy's kids. Nobody better for a dad than the funny guy. I'm telling you now. And that's the kind of energy that keeps that relationship alive. And that's why they had to get him off, because they knew he'd be too powerful. But he does have a grip on me. He's at least a quarter of my For You page. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so attracted to that man. I started watching The Walking Dead just to get a little taste of him. I can't get into it. I don't know how I made it as far as I did originally. But the show, I'm trying. I'm like literally like Clockwork Orange with my eyes held open. I'm like, watch the show. Yeah, those are some of my hottest takes about Grey's. This video is way too long, so I'm gonna have to edit out a lot of this. Or not. I mean, I don't know. Throwing clips in too, but yeah. So here's a video for you that's not me. I guess this is exactly the same vibe as the last ones have been on too, but with some Grey's Anatomy thrown in. I just wanted to talk about it because it's the only thing keeping me held together. That's a better way to say that. Okay. So love Grey's, love Mare. Let me know what you think. Actually, honestly, don't let me know what you think in the comments. I don't want anybody's opinion. Mine is right, yours is wrong if it's different on Grey's Anatomy specifically. So do not smash the like button, none of that. Do not subscribe. Do not do that. So anyways, thank you guys so much for continuously rewatching the last couple videos I posted. Yeah, you guys are real silly for that. But hopefully more stuff coming soon. So again, hottest takes on Grey's. I'll make, as I continue to progress like towards season 20, like I want to do a recap of season 20 and talk about it, but we'll see. When I get there, I get there. So I don't know. But bye guys.
And so I followed through on my promise to make a Grey's-like montage over this random footage of me I found, and how full circle it's all really come. Because honestly, these outros never make sense anyways.